You're about to witness a seismic event.
Daddy, can you put on Skitbags radio?
No, go to bed.
Okay, yeah, that's the promo.
Yo, what up out there in the universe? This is Sailor Dev coming at you from Skitbags Radio. What's up, fam? How you guys doing today? Yo, we are broadcasting live from Dash Radio in Hollywood, California up in here. And we have an amazing, illustrious, talented, phenomenal, savant-esque guest on the show today. He is a man of wonder. He is what you would call a Renaissance man. A jack of all trades, so to speak. But we'll hear about him in a second. So passing off to the man on the boards, Chicka T. What up?
What a build-up. This is Thomas, T. McD, T. Mac, twisting knobs, pressing buttons. Happy to be here, guys. Gabby to my
Hopped
left.
off the plane, LAX. Hey guys, it's Gabby Shake over here. Shake, and
Wow, that was really good.
thank you. I always forget to press my face when I talk. So that was Thomas saying all of that.
And we'll cut that out.
What's up, everybody? It's Casey, back from the dead, partly from Halloween and partly from the stomach flu.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds gross. Very
How'd you do
spooky. Very spooky.
How'd I get that on a cruise?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And I'm Brian Bennett. I'm the guest. I just want to thank you guys for letting me sit and talk with you for a little while. It's a privilege.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Everyone say hi to Brian.
The
What's up, Brian?
illustrious
Hi,
Brian.
Brian.
I was just going to say, I've never been described as illustrious before.
The illustrious Brian
I
Bennett.
kind of like it.
It's the mustache.
He is here. He does it all.
It's really
I
bringing
know.
it home.
The mustache is bringing up new things.
It's a real
So,
commitment.
for those listening, how would you describe a Ron Swanson mustache-esque?
Definitely.
What was the character you were doing?
I was Ron Burgundy.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
So same vein, of course.
Yeah,
Different
for
Ron.
sure.
I love Lamp.
Yes.
Full commitment.
So let's tell us a little bit about what you do.
Give our listeners a little insight about what it is you do, why you're on here, what we're talking about. And then we'll talk about some Breaking Bad casually, and then hear
Cool.
about whatever, we'll talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about, bro. But
Awesome.
I just want to hear about, what you do, man.
Devin's high.
I am.
I am.
I'm a working director, which for me, as a kid from New Jersey, I've been out here since 2005, 13 years now. And it probably took me 10 of those years to get to the point where I was making my income from directing. I mostly do branded content and documentaries and documentary-style commercial work.
Cool. Amazing.
Branded content, documentaries.
What does that mean, branded content?
So I will get hired by, like right now I'm finishing up some branded content for Postmates. They hire me. We're doing a series of short documentaries featuring chefs and restaurant owners from that are immigrants from countries on the travel ban list. And
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. There's obviously a lot going on with that right now, and food is a part of culture that tends to bring people together, and so I think it's a good way into that discussion.
Totally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have the ability now, because you've been doing this for so long, to kind of choose what projects you want to work on, or you just get lucky when awesome things come across your plate? Or how does that work?
Not at all. I will say yes to everything unless I'm already booked. I have an agency that I work for all day, every day. You can go to their website, alldayeveryday.com.
Cool.
They're a production company that reps other directors. I'm on their roster. You can see some of my work there. But generally, they are fielding inquiries from different brands, different ad agencies.
Yeah.
We're looking for somebody to do X, Y, Z. If it fits where I fit in their roster, they'll send it to me. I'll write a treatment for it, a little we call it a deck, a little PDF, like a
Presentation,
multi-page presentation.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't.
And then
That's just how it
even
goes.
though you're making this deck and you're the one that's delivering the treatment, a lot of times people don't realize that don't work in branded content that you're answering to another creative that's from the brand.
Correct.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of the
So you have to make sure that they're happy, and then you have to also make sure that the other side of production is happy, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And then sometimes you have an ad agency as well.
Yeah.
So there's
That's facilitating the deal, right? That's facilitating the contact between the client and the content
sure.
and the brand.
And I think the most important part of that is being on the same page going into it. I don't see a lot of frame fucking at the end where like the client wants to come in and pick a new shot or like, stuff like that. So I've had a really good relationship with my clients for the most part.
Is that an industry term, frame fucking?
That's an editor term for my background as an editor.
Yeah.
It's just what we call when the project's like finished and they just keep tweaking this, tweaking that. It's like, let's change the wording on the graphic here. Let's extend it for another second and a half.
Which is pretty common.
Yes, it's very common. And we just call it frame fucking.
Perfecto.
The more you know. What would you say? So, where's your journey begin? I just want to get into you. You're too interesting. What? Yeah, like, how did you get into this field? Did you go to school for it?
I did. So, like a lot of people, when I was in high school, I was really into I was an athlete. I played sports. I was a baseball player.
Nice.
But like fell in love with the video tech stuff that we were doing. We had like morning announcements at my high school.
Yeah, of course.
Suburb, and we would do like a live broadcast news show with the students everywhere. And I was like, I worked my way up there, was directing there. We had nonlinear editing. This is 1998. So editing on a computer with Adobe Premiere way back in the day.
Really?
So I had a huge head start by the time I went to film school.
Yeah.
Where were you getting access to this stuff?
I grew up in Marlton, New Jersey, which is South Jersey. It's a suburb of Philadelphia. And we were it was just a like normal middle class, total like definition of suburb, middle class suburb. But we just had this one teacher, Rob Casimo, who was really fostered my creativity and really let me run with it. And I just sort of took to it. It's just one of those things that like, there was no question that that's what I was supposed to be doing.
It's your calling.
Yeah, for sure.
Great foresight by Rob.
Yeah, definitely. And then I was supposed to go to a 4-year college. I was all lined up, ready to do that. And it was my mother, who's a teacher, who suggested I go to film school. I think she saw in me. I have an attention deficit called attentive type, which is I'm not distracted by everything, but I get sort of a tunnel vision. Meaning, if I'm working on something, I'm hyper focused. I could hold a conversation with you and not really kind of digest it at all. And my mom was like, "I think this tech school will be good for you." I went to Full Sail in Orlando.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm from Tampa, and my cousin went to Full Sail for audio engineering. So
Gotcha. Big audio engineering school.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's big now, man.
What years when did you go to Full Sail?
2001 to 2003.
Do you remember Casey Burdick?
I don't.
All right. It's probably the tall, skinny Irish ginger running around causing a ruckus. Anyways, shout out Casey. Love you.
So, yeah. And then I went to film school and hustled, man. It was intense. It's 7 days a week. There's no summer. It's straight through for a couple years. And I moved back home, landscaped with my cousin for a season and a half to save money. Got a job at Panavision.
You do what you got to do.
Moved out to LA. Started working for Lee Filters, which is a division of Panavision. Did that for a while. Worked at Sammy's Camera in the rental department. And while I was doing that, me and a couple friends started our own LLC and started to take on trying to find little jobs.
Editing jobs.
At production.
Yeah. Just
anything we could get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because at the time, it seemed easier to start a company and find clients to be able to shoot and edit and direct than it would be to start off as an AC and be on set 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. I just couldn't imagine finding time to like develop if I was on set all the time.
And like those days of being on set where it's actually worth it monetarily and stuff and experience and scale, or it's like the 90s. And those days are gone, those big budget movies and stuff. Yeah. So that trickled down. I'm sure like, since then, the budget scale and the pay scale has just gotten totally different. Yeah. It's like everybody's swimming in money in the 90s. And you came like right after this transition happened.
Yeah. But at the forefront of the digital revolution.
Right. So you're on that cusp of swinging from, one medium to another.
Yeah.
Almost.
I both edited film. celluloid and digitally in college. We were the last ones to do that.
Oh, wow.
Hey, so fun fact out there, our listeners and viewers, there is this thing called film, and it's an actual film reel. And people used to put little clips and glue them and tape them together to make a movie.
We sure did. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And, so where did you go after that? You're at Panavision, you started your own company, you're doing all these contracts. What's next?
Yeah. The next thing for me, the big moment for me, was getting hired to shoot time lapses for the pilot of Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
That is the, and then I ended up staying on that show through its entire run.
And how did you get that job?
Hell of a run.
So this is why you wanted to break down Breaking Bad today. I'm guessing.
Yes.
Well, first of all, tell me about this experience of shooting these time-lapse commercials and how they got into actually being on the show.
Yeah, this is kind of a fun story. So the unit production manager for Breaking Bad called my old boss and basically asked, like, hey, Vince Gilligan, the creator, is like really into time-lapse photography. We can't seem to find anybody that specializes in that. Do you know anybody that does that? And he knew that I had been playing with it because I would show him everything I was working on and whatnot. And he recommended me. He gave me a call. He said, hey, I recommended you for this thing. Do you have a time-lapse reel you can send over? They want to see your stuff. They need somebody to shoot this thing. I was like, yeah, no problem. Did not have a time-lapse reel.
Yeah, of course. You always say yes.
Really only. And you know how when you start like working on something, the first 100 you do are shit, and then the next 100 a little better, and the next 100 a little better. Mm-hmm. I was in that second 100, right? But like only 5 in, so the other 95 were unusable, and that I was not proud of. So I spent the next 17 hours shooting new time lapses to put on a reel. I put the reel together, sent it over the next day. They emailed me back right away. Vince loves your stuff. We're going to fly you to Albuquerque for this pilot. And at the time, Breaking Bad was nothing.
Did you do, were these tripods or were they like slow pans?
No motion control yet.
Okay.
We didn't add motion control until season 4.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. Which is another cool story. That was a big moment in my career as well. But back to the I flew out, shot a bunch of stuff for the pilot. They used it. Series got picked up. For the first few seasons, we didn't know if it was going to get renewed. It was still this show on AMC that like they had Mad Men at the time, but nobody cared about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Then Netflix, and then boom, the whole world found it, and then it was the biggest deal in the world by the time we hit season 4.
I was gonna say season 4. Was it at the end of season 4, or was it the beginning of season 4 when that happened?
Middle of season 4.
Middle.
Because Netflix released all of the seasons so people could binge it.
Oh, got it.
And that is where I found it as well. I'm going to be honest with you. I never saw it on AMC.
Got it.
Like it was like in college on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like in somebody's room where there's like a bunch of dudes huddled around watching Netflix. Like that's where I saw Breaking Bad.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You youngins. I actually watched it old-fashioned on a crank radio.
I had the benefit of watching a couple episodes and skipping directly to the last episode in the entire series. I just saved all that time.
The benefit.
Yeah, what?
You lose the whole story.
Yeah, what benefit
I'm terrible
is
with
that?
TV shows. I'm absolutely terrible with
Is it
TV
an
shows.
attention span thing?
Yeah. It's like there's something else I got to be doing other than watching episodes 3 through 8 of 13 Reasons Why.
Where are
I mean,
you
it
at?
depends on the show, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. Very
All
true.
depends on the show.
If
Where
it's
are you
if it's a
at on
nice
Game of
6
Thrones?
episode limited series, I'm
not
there.
gonna get into
I'll see
this.
all of those. So Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Well, so after you did the pilot and you did the time lapse, they asked you to come on for all the seasons subsequent through its whole run.
Through its whole run, yeah.
God
So
damn
I would
it.
do a couple trips a year, between a week and 2 weeks, gathering a list of assets they asked me to get.
On location?
Yeah, in Albuquerque.
And so what was that content used for them in-house for promotional stuff?
No, they used it like in the show. They would use it as scene transition.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We did some stuff with the actors as well, where they're driving out to the desert.
So like anything time-lapse in the show is you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which is every episode.
Yeah.
And I want to say
transitions
for the
on that show.
for the first few seasons, I had my business partner with me, Dom Zangi, who's an incredible shooter. He's a DP. He works with NFL Films a lot now. He's very, very talented. I knew him in high school as well. He was a year older than me. And he played a formative role in me developing every skill I have now. He's very talented.
Shout out.
Yeah.
How long
For
does
sure.
it take to make one time-lapse video?
That's a good question. It depends on the length of the event that you're trying to kind of show. So like if anytime I would do a scene transition where it's just clouds developing and moving, you could shoot that in as little as 10 minutes. If you're doing a sunset, it could be a few hours.
What is obviously you have to think about lighting in the time of the environment you're in and shooting,
Yeah.
but what has been the most difficult time lapse, the most challenging, whether it be unexpected stuff or like, damn, this shot's really complicated because this and this that you've had to encounter, at least on Breaking Bad?
The hardest ones are, a few times they wanted day to night to day. So we would be outside of Jesse's house and they want to show that the sunset, they've been inside all night, the sun comes back up. That's a huge latitude shift in exposure. And the lazy way to do it is you expose for the day, you expose for the middle, you expose for the morning, and then you kind of dissolve. But that just didn't work for me. I'm sort of a purist and I like it to be in camera as much as possible. So we online I found this thing called the Bramper, which is a bulb ramper. So you put it in bulb mode, and then you can slowly ramp your exposure by extending the length of your exposure.
Whoa.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can open up,
According to how much light or time of
so
day.
you can get an extra 7 stops of
So
latitude.
does it sense the amount of light, or does it just know what time it is?
No, you have to
Oh, it's
ride
manual?
it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But it's manual to the extent that once you initiate the ramp, there's a set amount of time. So you say, I want 1.5 exposures over whatever. So I would do
Got it.
one stop over 6 minutes during sunset, because that's the balance, right? So you would hold that magic hour in your image, and then it would dip down, and then I'd start to open up so you get the stars, and then speed it up, So you have some control, and it just, that their algorithm helps ramp it so it doesn't cut.
You just don't have to sit there for 36 hours.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you
yeah, you have to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's been a couple times. We had one, we were up in the Sandia Mountains. I was shooting across the valley. This gust of wind came, blew the whole thing off the side of the mountain. Gone. Dunzo.
How long had you been recording at that point? How far into the time lapse were you?
I was still setting up, luckily.
Okay, good.
But this is so funny. There's a tram. It's pretty cool. It's fun. There's a little tram that takes about 20 minutes to get up to the top of the mountain. So my shit just blew off the mountain. It's late at night. It's just me and the security guard, and it's the saddest moment of my life. I lost my camera and my lens. I lost everything. I'm just so sad on a tram, which is just weird. Just thinking how I'm gonna explain to production that not only did I not get the shot, but
Lost all the gear.
And to their credit, I maybe they could see it in my face. I walked in the office and they were like, "Who died?" And I was like, "My camera." and they were immediately like, "Write down what you lost and give it to this person." So I walk it in. The next day, they had replacements for everything. No questions asked.
That AMC money.
wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See how a set's supposed to be run.
Yeah. No, but so yeah, that was.
How often did you get to
Dramatic.
work with the cast? Or did you get to work with the cast?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, a few times.
So you're all buddy-buddy now?
I wouldn't say that. I definitely.
I heard that Bryan Cranston is an asshole.
You're wrong. Somebody
No,
lied to
I'm
you.
just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Come on, guys.
You know what's cool is that that show, that crew was so close, and it was such a family atmosphere. It was really inspiring to be around those people. It's not. I don't think it's a coincidence that it was such a success. I think it starts from the top. Vince Gilligan, nicest man in show business, obviously so talented, but everyone on that show, at every level, just top of the top. Super great people.
Yeah.
I feel like the show was a snowball. Like it gained momentum as it went on, and it gained like not only more of an audience and obviously more of a following, but even the bond between the people involved on the show. Because you hear stories about it, and you're like, in the beginning, first like 3 seasons, like we don't know, this uncertainty.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
then after that takes off, it's like, okay, it's solidified. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Like we're going full steam ahead. So at that point, it's like, there's definitely a bond and, brotherhood, sisterhood formed, just on set. You're spending so many time.
Yeah.
How was the average time they're shooting for on like 14-hour days, 16-hour days sometimes?
They're on a pretty tight schedule. I mean, somebody would be more qualified to speak to this to me, but I think they were doing normal 12-hour
I couldn't
days.
imagine them going over 12 very often.
Yeah,
on a
I
high
don't-
budget show like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight ship they run.
You got to keep everybody happy when you're spending that much bankroll.
Yeah, for
There's no
sure.
excuse.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the show definitely benefits from chemistry like that,
Definitely.
and you can see it on screen.
Sometimes I wonder though, like I dealt directly with like the executive producers of the show and the directors of each episode. So when I would show up on set to like talk about what I was doing or what I had to do next, I would just kind of like walk right past everybody to like the very important people, and you could see the crew like, who the fuck is that? Like, they all thought I was like
PAs
an
are like,
executive
what?
from AMC for a while, because like they just walk past everybody, only talks to the director.
That's pretty funny.
It's like, no, I'm nobody. I'm like,
one of those days you should be like, you could have been like, make that joke and round it out about like, hey, can somebody give me a cup of coffee? Pretty awesome. I
The
know.
PAs are just wide-eyed. Oh my god. Who's that
Who
guy?
are you?
Here he comes
It's
again.
not important.
Get that guy.
The mystery man in the suit.
So after Breaking Bad, what happened, man? What's going on now?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it has come to an epic and amazing conclusion.
yeah, no. So Breaking Bad opens a lot of doors for you.
You think? I would guess so.
I connected with a director named Sam Jones. He has a show on Channel 101 on DirecTV. And he's a great director. He does a lot of commercial work. He's sort of got famous. He's a very famous photographer. He did a documentary about Wilco. I'm trying to break your heart. And he I consider like a mentor and a friend. He was the first time I got to kind of see behind the curtain of like what my future would look like, because he very much has a similar aesthetic to me. And I saw him do this, and like he's got 2 beautiful daughters that he took to school every day, and it was really inspiring to see someone do really top level quality work really hard, be a dedicated father, and just a really, really good person. And he always wanted to do more. He always wanted it to be bigger. And now he has this show off camera, this interview series he's doing for a long time.
He does off camera?
Yeah, off camera with Sam Jones.
Yeah.
No, he's the best. And I shot and edited the first season of that.
Wow, I love that show. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was I was just now connecting dots.
But he ended up initially hiring me as an editor. I did some music videos for him and some branded content that he was doing. When he found out that I was shooting time lapses for Breaking Bad, he started taking me on his commercial shoots. So we went to Alaska together to shoot a McDonald's commercial, and that was really cool.
Yeah, rewind that for a second.
Yeah.
You went to Alaska to film a McDonald's commercial?
Yeah.
Is that a
Dutch
nationwide
Harbor,
commercial,
Alaska.
or is that
Yeah.
because people weren't eating enough McDonald's?
No,
in Alaska?
that's where they fish for the cod that they use in the fillet of fish.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
so we
Makes
like
perfect sense.
profiled the captain of the ship.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
hard
And what they do
working.
in the Bering Sea.
It's like
it's brutal.
it's an extended branded content video is what that is. It's not a regular TV spot. But I'm
Yeah.
sure, did you guys shoot 30-second spots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ended up being television spots.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's a typical.
So they used it for both? What you shot, they used it for branded content, and they used it for a 30-second spot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times there's like supporting content around an ad campaign, right?
Yes.
So I'll do a lot of 2.5 minute like doc style videos that have 1 minute cut downs and 30-second cut downs.
Yes,
as well.
that's
For
pretty
different purposes.
common.
Yeah.
That's normally the way things go. And I'm guessing this was a 2-3 day shoot also.
Yeah, we were there for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it better
was
be
cool.
if you're going to fly to Alaska.
Yeah, and it looks like Hawaii. People don't realize that. It was
Because you went in the summer?
no, but it's in like the Aleutian Island chain.
Oh, that-
it's like a little island. And normally islands are like, it's not as cold. It's not as bad.
They're all
the water
volcanic,
keeps
which
it-
is very similar to Hawaii.
yeah, but a lot of green,
A lot of bears.
a lot of bald eagles.
Were you around Dutch Harbor?
That's exactly where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the deadliest catch kind of.
Yeah, that's where they film out of. I actually have a buddy that counts fish at Dutch Harbor.
Really?
Yeah, he goes on the deadliest catch boats.
That's a real job.
Yeah, it's a real job.
Wow.
It's
How
for
did you meet someone
it's
that
like for
does
fish and
that?
wildlife. He was in my fraternity.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's cool.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Anyway.
so he's like a big time director.
Sam.
Yeah.
SamJonesPictures.com.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He's rep by RSA, Ridley Scott's company. So I was doing more and more work with him, and RSA started to take notice. It's like, who's this guy that's editing everything Sam does
Yeah.
and is shooting everything with him? Like, what's his deal? And so I got really friendly with them. We ended up doing this hour-long documentary about Passion Pit's show at South by Southwest in 2013, and I shot it with Sam. I edited the whole thing. What?
Nothing. I think I said, is that out or that's been out? Like, is that released on like their
I don't
YouTube
know if
channel or
it's
something?
still online.
Because I think I saw that. First of all, I love Passion Pit. And I thought
cool.
that's why
It's
I
called
was
Hello
like,
Everywhere.
Yeah,
It's a collaboration with Taco Bell.
I mean, I
B2B
remember
program.
during that time period. There was
cool.
That content like that came out. I was like, wait a minute, I think I saw this motherfucking
Oh,
video.
cool.
So that's why I lit up. For those of you listening, he's sitting across from me and he saw my face and he's like, what the fuck are you? What's wrong right now?
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting.
No, it's all good. It's
what's
all good.
important to note is that all this stemmed from was just those time-lapse videos. And the guy,
Yeah.
and
The
Sam,
ones you
Sam
made in
saw the videos.
17 hours.
And if you like, not to get too esoteric or whatever, but if you really wanted to trace it back, when I was 15 years old, I saw a film called Baraka that Ron Frick directed. It is a non-verbal experimental documentary film. It's just images and music, and I had a spiritual connection with that film. It blew my mind. It changed my life. They invented motion control time-lapse photography. And so that's always sort of been like my North Star, right? And which is why I got into time lapses in the first place as a hobby, right? And that turned into an opportunity. And then I lied a little bit when I about the reel, but I knew I could execute it and I knew I could deliver. And I just stepped up and took a chance and did it. And that got me Breaking Bad, and Breaking Bad ended up being a bullhorn for me and opened up other doors. So none of this happens without falling in love
It
with
just
that
goes to show you, like, if you don't have anything in your portfolio, just, go out, stuff it in there, because that's where everybody's going to be looking, and that's how you're going to get your next job.
Yeah,
that's where everybody looks to begin with.
My biggest piece of advice is just make stuff.
Just do it.
If you're listening and you're a teenager or in your early 20s, it's not going to be good enough, guys. It's not going to be up to your own taste level. Don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're ready, because you're not. I'm sorry if there's an 18-year-old Robert Rodriguez out there. You're ready. And Soderbergh, you're ready. But unless you're a phenom, you're going to have to hone the craft, make stuff, and finish it. Don't start something and not finish it because you look at the dailies and you're going, oh, this is not, this doesn't look like Lubezki shot it.
You got to make it into that.
Right. You got to finish it and then do the next one and it'll be a little bit better. And do the next one, it'll be a little bit better.
And then who knows, maybe a big hot shot will see your reel one day, and that'll lead to Breaking Bad time-lapse videos and start your whole career.
So what's going on with you these days? What are you getting into?
These days, the big next step for me is trying to sell a documentary series. That's what we're pushing. I'm developing a few of those. I have one in development right now with a company called Newform. This is Ron Howard and Brian Grazer's digital platform company.
Amazing.
Oh, nice.
They've been a big
Those guys,
supporter of this project.
They kind of know a thing or two.
They're great. We had a development deal with Morgan Spurlock, but that just kind of didn't end up going anywhere. And then he Me Too'd himself, and then I felt like at that point we were
Supersize Me Too.
What pushed you to become a director? What brought you from Breaking Bad and from filming to directing?
I mean, I always wanted to be a director. I think a lot of people out there think that that's what we want to do. And some people get to LA and they fall in love with a different part of the industry. I never had to confront a moment where I was like, it's not going to happen for you, because I did steadily grow. I hustled, and that's just always where I wanted to go. But I always could make money as an editor. I always could make money as a shooter, so I was okay, and I was able to take risks and do stuff like that,
which is important.
Which is important.
Yeah, if you didn't take that risk, with your reel and just submitting it, you wouldn't, have the career path that you're on now.
Absolutely, yeah, no, for sure.
What's your dream project? What would you want to do if somebody was like, "Here's a giant bag of money, go do what you want"?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a real good question.
Or do you have one?
That could go in a lot of different directions. That could go for a cause you're particularly feel strongly about, or that could be a creative idea you've always thought would be super cool, and everybody else is just maybe next time.
Well, what's funny is I would eventually like to get to narrative filmmaking.
Of course,
I would love to do feature films.
Of course,
I don't feel ready for it. Right? I've also never put myself in a position where I could not execute what I needed to, and I won't do that.
Very wise.
So if you said here's $30 million, what do you want to develop and shoot? What do I want to do? I would love to do a Tesla Edison War of the Currents film. That's what I would love.
That would be fascinating.
Yeah, not ready to do that yet. So the short-term answer is we've been working for years on a film called Dallas Sucks. I am from the Philadelphia area. I am an Eagles fan.
That's not biased at all.
It is completely biased, which is the name of the documentary series we are in development for. But this film is, it's called Dallas Sucks. And it's basically, for the first time, doing a documentary about sports where people talk about sports the way people talk about sports. It will be narrated by somebody with a Philly accent that uses our language and our speech. And it gives our completely one-sided account of our own history. We're taking control of, we booed Santa Claus and threw snowballs at Santa Claus. There's a whole story to that. And it's an opportunity to kind of tell our side of it. Yeah. And the idea of the series is that you can do that with pretty much any fan base. These are little self-portraits of fan bases.
But it's all from the perspective of a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
That's that episode.
Regarding every team, or that's just that one episode?
Right. The idea is you could then give it to, the Cubs.
Give the Green Bay Packers. And
Absolutely.
It's a Bears super fan.
Exactly. Yeah. Bears, Packers, right.
Give it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But who would? Yeah.
They're a good team.
No.
But I would want to finish that film right now. Yeah. If somebody was like, here's $100,000. I would finish that documentary.
Finish what you started.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be ready to make that movie that you want to do?
Yesterday. We've been working on it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Development takes a long time, guys. A long, long time.
Yeah.
And that's if people love what you're doing. It takes a long time.
And that's even if the development leads to production.
Correct, which is
the majority of the time it doesn't even happen.
Correct.
You gotta have several things cooking in the oven at once, or else you'll never have anything on your dinner table.
You are absolutely right. So we didn't start that, we finished one deck for a series, and then my producing partner and I automatically just, boom, what's the next thing? That's out.
So you guys are just
CAA
developing.
has that, All Day Every Day has it. What's next?
So just churning out the next development.
I had a meeting this morning for another doc series.
Bueno.
What is your everyday life to life? What is your life? What is it?
What was that now?
Day in the life? Your day to day?
An average day in the life of me?
Yeah, you got it.
Day to day.
Day to day.
Meetings. Pitches.
Yeah. Day in the life
a lot of
doses and mimosas.
A lot of time in the chair.
Well, I still edit all of my stuff for the most part. So I do a lot of editing. I still get hired out as an editor sometimes. So I'm either doing that or obsessively researching whatever the next thing is.
Well, that's kind of what my one of my questions was for you about doing the docuseries. How do you find the stories that you want to tell? Because like I love historical fiction. That's what I write. I love finding stories and moments in time that are relatable to today, but stuff that like nobody knew about, because it's like you just found like a hidden gem or treasure. You know, I'm like, oh guys, look what I just got. Look at here, and I want to like show people and share it. You know, so like, how do you get that transition of being like, where do I start? Like, where do you search for those stories, and then how do you take that real event and bring it to an entertaining medium? I mean, that's
a good question. I think it's the same thing that you said. I think very rarely do I sit down with nothing on my mind and look for something to be inspired by. Right? It just
kind of just comes across your plate.
It comes across your plate,
and you're like, oh shit, this is Pete. This is interesting.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like for us, with Dallas Sucks, it started, we were just like sitting in the bar after one of the Eagles games, and we were just talking about what we wanted to work on. And the national media always brings up this story of Santa Claus, booing Santa Claus, throwing snowballs at Santa Claus.
What is this story?
The story is in the early 60s, the Eagles fans booed Santa Claus during halftime, during I'm going to air quoting parade. During a parade.
Eagles fans.
Exactly.
Was this a Christmas Day game?
It was, yeah. So the real story here, and it definitely happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but the real story is the original Santa Claus did not show up. Okay, he was sick or whatever. Mm-hmm. The sled they were supposed to go around the field in couldn't get through the tunnel in Franklin Field in Philadelphia. So they pulled a 19-year-old kid out of the stands who had like a shitty fucking like one of those shitty little corner store beards or whatever, and a suit that was way too big for him, right? And it was fucking wasted. This 19-year-old kid, Frank Olivo, he was wasted. So he's walking around. They had a track that went around Franklin Field. Yeah. So he's walking around just this drunk 19-year-old in this shitty costume. Okay, so right there,
classic
you deserve to be booed. Can we all agree there?
Absolutely.
Let's take that off the table.
Not only him, but but the people that put him there.
So, yes, and not only that, the team was terrible that year, and it's halftime of this game, and we're actually winning, which is pissing off the fans, because if we lose this game, we get the number 1 pick in the draft. All we had to do was lose. And you know who the number 1 pick was? O.J. Simpson.
Oh, boy.
So we were winning.
The juice.
Drunk bargain store Santa Claus.
How many kids do you think found out about Santa Claus just from that game?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Like, I feel like that destroyed more than
found out is a relatively lenient term.
It's like, we don't like Santa anymore, I guess.
Yeah, we had a couple converts to Judaism that day in the stadium. It's like, this is our guy.
South Philly Catholic
This
Italians.
is our guy?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
It was snowing. They're probably like, hey, don't waste your beer. Throw the snowball.
So in the perfect world, we would do like the Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation animation, 60s claymation. We would reenact the whole deal.
That would be great.
OJ in the tunnel trying to get his glove on. It'd be great.
Put it on Philadelphia Public Access every holiday season.
Oh my God.
The PBS of Philadelphia. Oh man, that'd be perfect.
What are some of your favorite moments of your career where you look back and you're like, oh, that, besides like Breaking Bad, but like a specific shoot? Or when did actually, before we get into good stuff, tell us the bad. When did shit go fucking wrong? When did shit fly off the handle and you gotta like reel it back in or solve a problem you didn't think of?
That's an interesting question. I've been lucky enough. I've never had like a disaster on a shoot. I've never had the hard drive broke. We lost everything. Like, luckily, I've been charmed sort of in that way.
Well, you jinxed now. You came on this show.
Audio
But I mean,
corrupted.
the camera falling off the mountain in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That's about as bad as it
Sounds
got.
pretty memorable. I mean,
Well, that's good.
John Mayer's
thousands of
people.
dollars worth of glass,
Yeah, sure.
thousands of dollars worth of
No,
camera.
I
more
rented
or
these
less.
Leica lenses that
Yeah.
season. and it
Oh
was-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That was bad.
I can't even imagine the insurance claim on those lenses. Astronomical for a piece of glass, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So that's an interesting question. I don't know.
I mean, the only reason I ask is because I don't I want to show that there is, bad things that you can overcome and there's good things that you should
Absolutely.
appreciate but still be humble about.
I totally agree.
John-
Failure is a huge
John Mayer's
part.
people shutting down your Vimeo. I don't know. That's pretty.
Oh yes.
Pretty
Let's hear
shitty.
about that.
Let's let John Mayer's people off the hook. I have it could be an algorithm that
It could
found
be.
Honestly, something like
What's
this.
my shit talking?
Yeah, it's
John
probably-
Mayer, who is also very nice, by the way. It was a random incident I had with Vimeo lately. They dinged me for copyright infringement on
On
a
a
job
video
that I was
that-
hired to do.
On a video that you directed
Right.
for John Mayer.
In 2012.
What was the song? Was it
That's
for,
definitely an algorithm.
So this is when I was working for Sam. Sam directed a video for John called The Queen of California,
Oh,
which is a
Yeah,
really cool
great song.
Warner video.
yeah, with the jazz. What's the name of the dance? It's like jazzercising dance or prancercising.
You're thinking of something else.
I'm thinking of a different
Yeah.
song probably.
But look at Queen of
But
California.
it was also one shot. That's
Oh,
what I was
really?
thinking of,
A different John Mayer video?
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But I edited that video, which is funny because you watch it and it's supposed to look like it's not edited. So people are like, oh, cool, good job. In addition to that, they hired me to do interviews with Sam and John and do like a behind the scenes thing. So that's a lot of kind of stuff that ended up happening with Sam because I was so close to him. I was like this sort of secret weapon. It was like we got like a value add sort of deal. And so I ended up doing this behind the scenes doc. And, I uploaded it.
Of course.
for them.
Take credit for your work.
Yeah.
And Vimeo said, no.
And Vimeo.
Like,
This can't have been you.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't want to speak in certainties, but I'm pretty sure that that's a algorithm because I've had to deal with similar algorithms on YouTube with stuff that is not copyright infringement, and it's just like going through the process of having
Right.
to like sort it out and communicate digitally only with them and
Yeah, for
things
sure.
like that.
I mean, that's the thing. Right now, it's like you can email these people directly and challenge it. And it's just like, I've done that. That was a couple weeks ago. So now it's like,
This is a waiting.
I don't know how long it's going to take. So I'll move everything onto a different type of server.
There you go. Yeah,
YouTube?
yeah.
YouTube,
Shout out
for now.
YouTube, which is where you're
Yeah,
watching this.
if anybody, here's my problem with YouTube. I go to my website. It's got all their banner on it and stuff and all the buttons. The thing I liked about Vimeo, you could strip it down. You could just
Yeah.
hit play. It'll stop when it's done.
Yeah.
I got all this junk with the
Yeah.
YouTube. So if anybody has any like video hosting sites that you can embed without a bunch of crap on it, hit me up.
Where can people hit you up?
Vimeo has lost a client.
BrianEBennett.com. Hit me
BrianEBennett.com.
up.
Check
through
it
the
out.
website. Check it out.
Right now, you can only see the YouTube links, which are fabulous, might I add.
So when you're developing content for a brand,
Yeah.
what are some of the things what are some of the frameworks that you've had to work within? Like when a brand comes to you, they're like, I need this, this, and this. Or like when you're partnering with a brand and saying, okay, we'll sponsor your content, but here's our stipulations. Like,
Sure.
have you navigated those waters?
Basically, it's in that first part of the process. So, like a few years ago, I did a job for Jimmy John's, and they really wanted like kind of like an anthem video. An anthem video is like it's a kind of big in scope. It's like a how do you describe this? It's like a real definitive brand, like visualizing the brand sort of a thing. Like Levi's had that Go Forth campaign, right?
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of people running around with flares and
It's like
flags.
we
It
deliver
was-
our sandwiches very quickly. That's
right.
their thing.
It was cool, you know. So they reach out to a few different agencies who say we have this director, and Jimmy John's will say, all right, we'll get treatments from these 3 directors. And so then it's my job to kind of like understand the brand, kind of look into it, see how people talk about it, see what the culture around the brand is, and then put a treatment together.
Yeah, you got to decide your approach.
What is a treatment?
A treatment is like it's like usually for something like that, it's like 4 or 5 pages. You give an introduction, which is an overview of what you're going to do. Then you have a production approach, which goes into how you're going to execute the vision in the first part. And there's a few more pages that answer like, here are the characters involved, and then a final thoughts. It's really just a way to like put down on paper everything you want to do, and you design the deck so that it sort of communicates your visual aesthetic.
It's like a lookbook for a fashion shoot.
Absolutely.
Ish.
Yep.
What is the most interesting thing a brand's ask you to do? Like the most fun? Like, have you ever had a brand be like, give you a bunch of leeway?
I did a job for Google with Skrillex. They had this custom cell phone case that, like, I guess communicates with your phone, and every day that gives you a new Skrillex like desktop wallpaper or something, and it's like designed by him or whatever.
Wow, and useful product.
But I mean, it was cool. But we got to spend a day with him, like in dune buggies
with Skrillex
outside of Vegas.
Dude, he's chill as fuck, man.
He is.
I've met him a couple times. I met him in Orlando before he was Skrillex.
When he was Sonny Moore?
Yeah, when he was Sonny. Right after he got off as being Sonny Moore in the heavy metal shit. He was just starting DJing and stuff before he blew up.
Bought some larger
I saw him in a small club. He was just DJing on like a Friday night or even like a Thursday or some bullshit. But anyways, me and my buddy were right next to the stage, and Skrillex's laptop falls off the stage. My buddy catches it with one hand, with a drink in his hand, and just like slowly raises it back up. Like epic style, he plugs it back in, and it's like, poof, right, the music starts again. Everyone's dead. Yeah!
Wow.
But it was one of those like, oh shit, you know. And then you see, because then you see what happened.
Yeah.
But he was just as chill then as he is now.
Yeah.
So
that was probably like the most fun, like that we got paid. Because the other thing, at the end of that day, we were following him in a dune buggy. So I was like strapped in this dune buggy. I think my buddy had the best job. All he did was drive a dune buggy all day and got paid for it. But like after we were finished with him, I went and shot some product shots in the desert, and we found this like lizard. My sound guy found this like incredible lizard and like caught him and put him in like the Perrier box or whatever. So we like would put him down next to the phone, and I did some shots with that. He ended up taking it back to the hotel room. So we ended up with this thing. He looked it up, ended up being this super rare endangered species that we like definitely killed because like we should not have like moved it.
Oh, this amazing lizard. There's only 3 left.
Ended up being a total Vegas. We got to the hotel at the Palms, and they didn't have enough rooms for us. There was like 10 of us or whatever. We do have a suite that will accommodate all of you. And it was like the NBA. There was like the Olympic basketball.
It was
team.
the suite with the sky. The big like hot tub that juts out into the.
No, it had a full basketball court. And
This is at the Palms?
Yeah.
At the top?
No. It was like floor 17 or something. Okay. It was wild. It was.
Is that where you got to take Steph Curry's photo?
I did a show for NBA TV. I got to work with Steph Curry and Steve Nash. I do a lot of work with Steve Nash and his company. That was a cool job too.
And you got a favorite? You got a personal favorite sports team of the year?
I mean, the Eagles for sure.
Anybody Philly or any sports?
In Philly they say 4 for 4, like Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles.
Now that
but I don't like hockey, so I say 3 for 4.
Oh, well, you just get the fuck out of here right now.
I'm not a big hockey guy either.
Both of you.
There's not a lot of hockey rinks in Southern Indiana.
He's not alone. It's weird. Like in Florida, everyone fucking loves hockey.
Oh, the Lightning.
Hockey is huge in Florida.
It
like
is.
all my cousins played growing up. Even though it's Florida, there's ice rinks everywhere.
I don't get it.
And all the retired,
Too many Russians for me.
Yeah.
Kucherov,
They don't have very nice. They don't have nice teeth.
They don't have nice teeth.
They have good butts.
There you go.
Oh, good butts. Yeah.
There you go. Shout out our boy
Hockey butts.
Our boy Paul Ledoux, a defenseman on the LA Kings. Love you, brother. He's been a
Speaking
friend
of LA, what about these new LA teams? You just did a spot for the Chargers.
For the Chargers, yeah. Last year they moved up from San Diego.
How's that? How do you take a team from one city to another?
I'm not sure it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people thinking that same thing. We'll
Wasn't
see.
that your commercial? Your commercial was
Yeah,
like, how do we get fans for the Chargers?
Right, that is a big thing. And part of the fun is like, and maybe it's just like a little bit of the Philly attitude. It's just like, yo, you got to prove it. Like, I'm not just going to.
That's exactly
like
what it says in the video. Yeah.
Right. Because I think that's how people actually
You got to
feel.
win.
Right. So
you
it
got to
worked.
earn it.
It worked.
You got to work hard if you want these fans. Well, the problem is the Rams got here first, sucked up all the fans.
Yeah,
and now
for sure.
The Chargers showed up, the poor Chargers, and everybody's like,
and they're in the little stadium. And
yeah. Well, they were going to have their own stadium until the planes got shooed.
Right.
Now they're going to share one.
Yeah.
Yikes, they're sharing one?
Mm-hmm. And
Like the
in
Jets and the
Inglewood,
Giants.
at
How
the
does that
old
even work?
Hollywood Park.
They lease it from them.
Yeah.
8 times a year.
So their logo will never be on the stadium?
Oh, it will.
Oh, okay.
They'll paint it before
We'll just
that.
change it.
My question is, during this Chargers commercial, this shoot, or the video that I watched, it was a couple minutes long. You know, if you wanna earn the fans' respect, you gotta win.
Yep.
There's a tiny 1-second clip of a woman saying Koreatown.
Yeah.
And I want to know, did you guys spend a whole day to go to Koreatown to film her say Koreatown?
No.
Or did you guys have a bunch of people in one place and then you...
We did. Everyone has their own place.
I love production logistics conversations. These are fun.
Okay, this is a perfect example of there's a long version and then there's cut downs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So while in the long version, she only says 2 words or 4 for Koreatown, whatever.
Koreatown.
She has a different line and a different thing in a different video, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I always think of things like that. Like something that's so obscure and how much time did they spend to get that?
Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, it was a whirlwind. I mean, we had everybody for about 15 minutes, and I had to get a bunch of stuff.
Tight windows, yeah.
Yeah, because you need a lot. You need it to feel like a community, and you can't just get 3 people to represent everybody.
So when you're shooting with the players, especially like somebody like Phillip Rivers, probably a pretty busy guy.
Definitely.
Melvin Gordon, probably a pretty busy guy. Like, did you have to take more time to work around the players' schedules, or was that all one day as well? And you just got them all while they were at the practice facility?
A lot of the rank and file players, they're easy. They just go where they're told to go when they're told to go there.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, you definitely work around his schedule. We're only going to be there for 2 days. They give us the window, right?
Right.
And then you'll know a lot of times with handlers of celebrities or big time athletes, there's somebody in charge of just psyching you out and telling you that like he doesn't want to be here and you have him for 10 minutes, but really you have him for 5, and I'm gonna pull him, whatever, blah blah blah. And then he gets there and he's super nice and he's super happy to be there, and he's the one going, no, let's do it again.
Yeah.
But the handlers, their job is to make sure that you can do what you need to do in 10 minutes and 5 minutes in case he's not into it and wants to go.
Yeah, just in case.
But that's almost never been the case at all. But definitely the bigger people, you just kind of work around when they say they show up. A couple times it was like Melvin Gordon would show up. It's like, guess what, rookie? Like, you're waiting for 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're doing him in the locker room instead of the tight end or whatever. So
yeah. Okay, well.
You just have to accommodate. You have to be flexible.
Absolutely. And if you're not, well, probably not going to do a whole lot of more work with the Chargers.
No.
Anyway.
Do you have any musicians or groups that you would like to work with as far as like doing some music video stuff?
Like Pie in the Sky, Jack White is a big inspiration to me. I'm a really big fan. Love the White Stripes. Leon Bridges. Love Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
I would love to work with him. For sure. Miley Cyrus, I would love to work with.
Yeah, get with Miley.
Big time. I think she's great. I think she has an amazing voice. I would love, like, for Rick Rubin to produce an album for her. I would like to hear her sing some country music. She has the voice for it.
Yeah, her last album was quite folky.
I was gonna say, didn't she like rebrand herself with her latest album?
No, she's going back to rap.
Oh,
now?
is she?
Yeah, now she's going back to
music.
rap.
Oh,
It
great.
didn't pay as good.
Yeah.
All those Christians were like, no, we ain't opening our pocketbook for you, wrecking ball.
I just like she's a star, right? So not everybody's a star. She has that, you hear a cover like Jolene, and it's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
amazing.
She's a phenomenal voice.
And I just want more of that, you know? And I think she stands up for a lot of the right things. I really admire that about her too.
Mm-hmm. Social justice.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of music videos. My career has not taken me there. Mark Romanek is like my directorial idol.
Do you got some favorite music videos from the past?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What you got?
Jay-Z, 99 Problems.
There you go.
I love
There you go.
Mark
Classic.
Romanek.
The Shots, heard around the world.
Amazing. So good. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop.
Can't
Love
Stop.
that video.
Classic.
So good. Sabotage, Beastie Boys.
So if you were to get more into music videos, would you like to make more like long form videos that tell a story like the Sabotage video, or would you do more concept based stuff?
I personally like performance videos better.
Okay.
The Audio Slave Kochais video, I don't know how you say it. Mark Romanek put him on this scaffolding in Burbank, and it's entirely lit by fireworks, and it's intense, and it's amazing, and it's totally rock and roll.
The whole video is
And-
fireworks.
Yeah, and that's all
fucking
you need.
awesome. 3.5 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever, fireworks.
So cool. It's awesome.
That was a few $100,000.
Yeah, and like so many calls to the police, like we're being attacked. But you only get to do it 6 times, so they got 12 cameras rolling the whole time.
Yeah.
6 times is still a lot.
No, but I really like a good performance video. Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Yeah.
The ceiling dropping down. Like, it's not fancy. That's just all it is. And I like mad respect for people who can like tell the stories and
Like a Spike Jonze video that's
Yeah.
kind of like a mini movie or
so cool.
yeah.
Love it. Appreciate it. Not my sweet spot. Love to watch it. Would not be the best person to make it.
Yeah.
I'm a little too. I don't know what it is. I don't know. like the music is enough for me. So
Yeah.
for me, it's more about like just turning it to 11, not like recategorizing it and reframing the story, right? So sometimes I think you would be in danger of like negatively affecting the content. Where if
Because-
you're letting them be them, they're still sort of in control.
Well, like like if you imagine like Thriller is known, like you think of the video more than the song.
Absolutely.
That's the good point where the video overshadows
It's a
the music.
13-minute short film.
For
It is.
Halloween this year, AMC has been playing Thriller the entire 13 minutes of it before movies. Like, oh, this showing has Thriller, so if you want to watch something spooky, Thriller comes and plays like on the Dolby.
That's great.
Awesome. By the way, got to give a big shout out to Dash's pop-up radio station called Halloween. Have you guys listened to this?
Spooky.
Oh, I love it. It plays everything from like the Monster Mash to like the theme from, fucking, I don't know, X-Files to
Halloween.
Halloween to all, like movie soundtracks, but also anything with just the name of a spooky thing. So it'll be like Tech Nine's, Zombie Patrol, whatever the fuck that thing is.
He's got
called.
a lot of spooky songs. That
Yeah. I mean, also like Gorillas, like Dracula. And
Yeah.
like, it's nothing, not very Halloweeny as a song, but just because it has the name in
The
it.
theme.
Anyways, it's fun.
Shout out
But
to
right
fun.
now,
I love
everyone's
that
listening to
variation.
Christmas music. Because that's when this is gonna air.
It's ever Thanksgiving, but there's no such thing as Thanksgiving.
Happy November.
John Legend came out with a new album, Christmas album. He's gonna take over Michael Bublé's reign on Christmas.
Probably.
Brian, do you got a favorite Christmas movie? Holiday movie, I should say.
A Christmas movie.
Holiday movie.
Half of our listeners
The
hate
Muppets.
this.
For
Muppets?
Sure.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Christmas
Yeah.
Carol. I'm a Muppet guy.
Hey,
I'm a big.
That's a
I come
good
from
one.
like a weird Disney family, by the way. I don't know.
That's not
If there's
weird.
any other weird Disney families here?
I mean,
So many.
Nah, I mean, your family's crazy. They go to
Yeah.
Disney every week.
I have a brother-in-law who works at Disney World.
Oh, perfect.
So my nephew is 5. His like local park is
This Disney?
fucking Disney World.
that's
That was
terrible.
me
It's
growing
like, what
up,
are
man.
jungle gyms? I just
my
want to
God.
go on Peter Pan's flight.
Well, all the street performers there know him by name. My nephew Reed. They have like bits they do. He like knows what to say. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
What was the
awesome.
thing that during the performances
Yeah.
that the performers like look at him?
They
and
interact.
they
Yeah,
have
we're
jokes
like
with
the
him on
Frozen show.
stage.
Because they
Right?
know him.
And he's got this thing he does. Like they have these like I don't know. They had these like paper snowflakes on the
Yeah.
wall. This one time, my nephew was there, and the bad guy in the show was like holding it up. My nephew was like, I got it, and he like ripped it. Right. And my nephew, like, he banked it, man. He fucking banked these, like, this banter with him. And so we're watching this Frozen show, and the guy recognizes them, right? And he starts playing with little. My nephew stands up. He takes a piece of paper. I didn't know my sister gave it to him. Takes this piece of paper out of his back pocket, looks him right in the eye, and just tears it in half. Cold-blooded.
Man. I love your nephew.
It's like an it's like a little Eloise at the Plaza situation where all the workers know him.
Yeah,
and he like goes. So, he can like go backstage.
I don't know if
a Dunstan checks in situation,
not,
but yeah, probably not.
It's definitely weird.
So
he could be a performer.
I think he might.
Maybe this is his start.
I think he might be.
Don't let him get sucked into that world of Disney World, man. All of those workers that I know, they start working at Disney and then they never, ever leave.
I know many people that are there. Many people work at Disney.
I always see the old greeters that are like, you can tell they're like 60 years old and they're like, have a nice day. I'm like, how long have you been working here, ma'am?
Well, a lot of retired people do seasonal work, but I would love to work for Disney, by the way.
It's better than Walmart.
I would love to do something for them.
We just had another couple of friends from Disney.
Just last week.
Yeah.
Our friend Nick
We're not allowed to talk about it, though. He's not allowed to talk about this
He's
Disney
not allowed
stuff.
to talk about it. Yeah.
True.
He said he could tell us, but then he'd have to drag us out back and choke us and shoot us in the head.
Like an NDA deal?
Yeah. No, it's just because the mouse, the mouse is a little fascist. According to Nick, man. No, that's Nick's words.
Yeah.
Come on, we're joking.
That wasn't me.
We're just all jokes. Nobody's laughing, though.
Yeah.
The mouse is in
We're
the
laughing
house.
Because the mouse is scary. The mouse owns everything. Like, the mouse rules the world.
The mouse controls us.
Isn't it that the Mickey Mouse, the copyright law is what keeps everyone else's copyright laws?
They keep moving the goalposts.
It's the precedent.
Yeah.
Once Mickey loses his copyright, then everyone's screwed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That'll never happen.
I hope not.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, it's going to become public property here pretty soon.
I mean, it should have already.
And I think they're screwed.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the?
I mean, they got a lot of money to delay it, but
it's like 80 years at first or something.
Ultimately,
what do they got left?
Well, I think
I think they revisit
the limit's
it all
like
the time.
99 years or something like that after its initial publishing.
I mean, that's only
Mickey's
copyright.
already 100, isn't he?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. But they just keep revisiting and revisiting.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to change the law. Right.
Disney's got a lot of money, so they can delay it as much as they want.
Can.
Disney has money? What?
Yes, what a concept.
And copyright laws are different per country. So, what happens in America doesn't necessarily reflect what happens in Europe or in Asia or wherever else the medium's taking hold everywhere, globally.
Would you want to direct a Disney film?
I don't know.
Or are you more about kids movies?
You know what I'd really like to do? What I'd really like
A
to do?
Disney Channel music video.
Some embedded content in the park.
Oh,
I would love to.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to
They're
do
You
that.
quite
could do that
strict
for
about
the
that.
streaming site.
What's that?
Do some background work of the Disney,
Well, no, like, you know how they have, like, you go to, like, Canada and they got, like, the 360 vision or whatever?
Yeah.
I'd love to update that.
They have a plethora of parks.
They do.
Nah, they do.
And, there's always some video introducing the concept for the ride or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Of
just
course.
as, like, a bucket list
That'd
thing.
be
They're
cool.
opening new parks, too, right? They got Star Wars.
Star
they
Wars
got
Land here in LA. They
Avatar.
the whole
Avatar
Star
just
Wars
opened.
Oh, yeah.
branch in
Toy
Florida,
Story
right?
Land.
Toy
Star
Story
Wars-
Land.
Yeah, Toy Story Land just opened.
Oh, what?
We had someone on who wrote all of the music for the aliens in the new alien ride from Toy Story. You know, the ones who are like, our savior.
Yes,
or
yes, 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 yes.
claw. He wrote all of the music for that. Shout out to Corbin Hayes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Killing it, man. And they have Toy Story Land. They have an entire, so the new Star Wars hotel in Florida, when you check in, they're going to give you a pass if you're either like a Sith, you're on the dark side, or you're on the light side. And then the pass is going to deal with how all of the workers will treat you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. So, like, first person, like, if you're on the Sith, like, the workers just treat you like shit? Because that would be awesome.
And then the stormtroopers will come and be like, yo, get over here, man. It's going to be crazy. And
It's wild.
very, very expensive. Oh, and also the Avengers. Didn't you just send me a new...
Yeah, they're coming out with that new Marvel section in California Adventures, and
Oh, boy.
it said casting now. They came out with like a new poster that was like, we're looking for new people.
They closed Bugs Land, Bug Story, whatever that was.
Universal
Bugland.
Studios is shaking in their boots right now.
Universal Studios is doing Mario Kart.
Yeah, they're doing a Nintendo Land that they just came out with.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's going to open in Tokyo first. I think if that's correct.
Makes sense.
Tokyo,
Makes perfect sense.
You know
Nintendo.
what I learned though? You said something that having a brother-in-law as an engineer there, so like Universal, whatever.
Yes.
They get along very well actually,
Really?
because people that come
As
down.
far as parks or as far as studios?
The engineers talk to each other for safety a lot, and the truth is, the better that Disney does, they get more overflow at Universal. Like that's never not going to be a draw. So I don't know.
So that's why they're keeping like
and
the
yeah,
Hulk and
It's not adversarial
Spider-Man.
necessarily.
It's
Which
not
was
like they're
surprising.
They're
located
actually
across
looking
the
out for
street
the
from one another,
consumers.
right?
And Universal can take more liberties with being more adult themed, like Halloween Horror Nights.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a thrill park.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you have all the backlot stuff.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people go there to do. Granted, you know, some stuff at Disney. I guess I don't know. I've never been to Disneyland out here, so
Shame.
I'm getting scolded of fire.
Ring the bell.
Disneyland isn't as good as Disney World.
Okay, we're
I'm
not
gonna
going to
say
continue
it.
this conversation.
Yeah, it's not
this
even close.
conversation.
Yo, Floridians repping up in here. Anyways, I would imagine that a lot of the draw to Universal is going to do some of that backlot tour stuff. Like you mentioned, you know, going to do the original Jaws when it was, you know,
Jaws isn't
going
there
up.
anymore.
I said when it was.
Oh,
You know, I knew when
They
it was.
took out the
Yeah,
shark?
Gabby, listen.
yeah.
The
Do
shark?
they still do the earthquake?
No,
don't do
the earthquake was taken over by a Jimmy Fallon ride.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, right.
Okay.
The Tonight Show ride.
Okay, so when you're
comment?
going on the tour and the earthquake happens, Jimmy Fallon just comes out?
Oh, hey guys.
They should have morphed it
He's doing this
together.
Oh
earthquake.
no! Wait! I'm wrong. So Twister took over for Jimmy Fallon's, and Earthquake is Fast and the Furious.
Oh, so that's a part of the tour now.
Doesn't make it
Okay.
any better though.
It doesn't.
Well, so I guess.
Is King Kong still in it? Does he still come out?
King Kong, he has his own ride now.
Oh, well, he deserves it.
He has his own ride, but Disney, it's funny that you say that Disney and Universal, they have a good reputation together, because in Universal Orlando, they have all the superheroes. They have Spider-Man still, and Hulk, and Doctor Doom. They have Storm, just like
Well,
walking
Universal
around.
has, what is it called? Islands of Adventure?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So Islands of Adventure is a branch of Universal. It's like a separate park, but it's all themed rides off of comic
Marvel.
books.
And this is
I think it's
Orlando.
all Marvel, but it's got DC as well. Right? Isn't
have a
there
little.
like a little, isn't there like a Superman ride?
That's
This Superman, no?
No, that's Six Flags.
Yeah.
Okay, well then never mind. Maybe it's just Marvel.
Six Flags has
Anyways.
DC.
All right, well, fair enough, whatever. Anyways, the superhero thing is my point, but all those rides are built like they ain't, I don't know, in the transition of acquisitions, I think, you know, now they're paying, I guess Universal Parks has got to pay Marvel, who and then pays Disney for those rides.
They
Is
might
that
have
how that
already
works?
purchased a 25-year lease on the.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
then
what they did with Sony for Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. And Disney owns like all of the rights to show Harry Potter on like ABC Family or Freeform, but Universal has the Harry Potter parks. So
Well, yeah.
checks and balances.
And Warner Brothers has the movies.
And the Looney Tunes. God, I miss Looney Tunes. Can they
Well,
please...
to go to Six Flags, they're still there.
Can they? Yeah, but I want like a real life interactive hologram version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm gonna go walk around.
I want to
the
go
park.
hunting with Elmer Fudd. I think
Yes.
that would be a lot of fun.
It'd be so fun.
Brian, if you could have your dream ride, what like would it be a roller coaster? Would it be a simulator?
Oh, man.
What would it be?
If your like favorite movie becomes a ride.
Oh, that's the.
Yeah.
I was
You
just
know,
going to
whatever.
talk
Project
the
that you could work
Avatar
on.
ride at Disney World.
It's incredible.
The most incredible thing I've ever done in my life.
Still haven't
When
ridden
you're
it.
riding the dragon,
dragon.
Yeah,
and you can feel it breathing.
next level. Yeah.
Like the Triceratops from Jurassic Park.
Well, it's like Soarin'. You know Soarin', where you got the huge IMAX screen or whatever?
Oh,
But
the
you're
hang
right
glider
there,
one?
man. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
blow wind in your face. It's so dope.
So you'd want to make a Pandora ride for what?
Well, no, I don't like
Oh,
that
no, just
movie at all.
Pandora.
It does not. Let's talk about
It's
it.
great.
But the ride is incredible.
Let's talk about how Avatar does not hold up graphically anymore.
No.
It looks.
Isn't there like a new one? Like who asked?
Every
Did we
10
just
years,
forget?
yeah.
There's 4 coming. 4 more.
Every 10 years.
I feel like Avatar came out and then they figured out superheroes and now they're like, fuck, we gotta make these now.
James Cameron is just going to be a head inside a glass jar like all the presidents from Futurama, and he's still going to be making avatars.
I believe it.
No, there are a lot of Avatar movies coming out through the pipeline.
Have you seen, there's this TV series on, I think it's Hulu, it's called Future Man. And they have this entire episode filmed in a future James Cameron's house. And the computer that works that's programmed into his home is always like, James Cameron, the star of my life, the greatest creation that has ever walked the planet. He created Pandora. And then she sometimes has to talk in the Pandora language because he created it, and he updates her Pandora language all the time. And she just is so not having it. She's like, help me, save me from James Cameron. Save me, please.
That's awesome.
It's funny. James Cameron, what a hoot.
Scary guy.
He's great.
What? No,
I was just going to say he's very innovative. He has to invent all this new technology for every Avatar movie he makes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
He's going to, dive to the bottom of the Mariana Trench just for kicks.
Yeah. He's like a regular Howard Hughes.
What is your favorite movie that you would like to see turned into a ride?
That's a good question. I've never been asked that before.
I know, it was a good question, Gabby.
The Revenant.
I haven't thought about it before either.
The Revenant. You just have to fight a bear.
That would be
The Revenant. Oh my God.
That would be a universal.
Man.
That would be a universal ride for sure.
That would definitely be a universal ride.
Yeah, you go and fight the bear.
Fight for your life against an animatronic bear.
The virtual reality experience.
You want to do VR? You think VR or live action for that?
Well, I think it would be interactive VR.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So you see bear breath go on you, and then a paw just whacks you in the fucking face.
You're in a
How
bubble.
interactive are we talking?
And then when the bear comes at you, there's an employee that hits you with something.
I like it.
You have to sign something before you get on the ride.
Yeah, totally.
And the whole ride takes place in a cryo tube. You have to just be freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's a solid concept.
No, 100%. I mean, there's definitely plenty of sensory stuff to explore there. You got cold, you got the wilderness, all the pine smells, and obviously bears.
It could be a roller coaster where you put the VR thing on, because they have those now where you go on a roller coaster and you do that.
But then what happens at the part where the bear bites you on your neck and just kind of throws you around?
All right, I didn't entirely think it through. I have to admit.
In that part, a
it just
dog
starts
comes
violently
in.
shaking you. Going in loops.
Thrill ride.
Or Baby Driver.
That would be amazing.
Baby Driver
a stunt driving course.
That would be amazing.
That'd be fun.
I was thinking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That sounds
I
delicious.
like that.
That'd be really cool.
Right? Because wouldn't you just want to go snack on everything?
That would be so cool if they made that at Universal Studios.
Like a
you
real
walk
thing?
in and it's the whole thing, and you can fall in the river and get sucked up the tube.
It's a real missed opportunity.
When I was in elementary school, they had these amazing rich kid birthday parties where the nanny would melt down Jolly Ranchers and then put it on wallpaper and then put the wallpaper up so we could go into this person's house and lick all of the walls. Just like Willy Wonka.
Like
You all go
snozzberries?
home sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
awesome.
gross.
The kids
so
would
gross.
rip off.
If you're alone, it's a little less gross. But
Yeah.
add one more
At a
person,
party.
it's
Like a class.
exponentially more horrifying.
It's like a field trip of 20 kids that come in to lick this wallpaper. It's
They're looking like their shoes outside. They're looking like anything, whatever comes across
Hair
their path.
getting
The
stuck.
kids.
that boat ride from Willy Wonka would be a good little.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, they kind of had something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
really?
didn't they have something?
Yeah.
They had a boat ride thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
you got
makes
to
perfect
go
sense.
through the factory. You can smell the chocolate.
It's called Hershey Park.
Hershey Park.
Kind of similar to Pirates up at,
Is it in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
I mean,
Canal.
yeah, it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I haven't been there since I was a kid, so it could be totally different now. But
Is
that
it
was
fun?
cool.
Was it fun?
Oh,
as
it
a
was
kid?
awesome. Yeah.
Are there many statues of Milton?
Milton?
Yeah.
Who's Milton?
Milton Hershey.
I was thinking
the originator.
R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You said Milton. I thought Office Space. I was like, what the fuck are you going with this?
Milton Hershey.
I thought
He's
Milton was
guy.
the name of that cute little Hershey.
No. Well, I mean
face.
that, but it's also because Milton Hershey is the founder of Hershey's chocolates.
I'm sure.
Fun
there's
fact.
I'm sure there's a statue.
The more
But they
you
had
know.
Like all the candy wrappers were walking around with big white gloves on.
A lot of M&Ms running about.
Yeah, all the Reese's stuff.
Or is that Mars?
What, Mars bars?
No, M&Ms.
No, candy?
Yeah.
What are you asking?
That's Mars for sure.
Yeah.
But they do have Hershey's Kisses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Halloween candy.
Yeah, I think we're all just on that like sugar.
You got a Halloween
year,
flick?
I got one of those giant Hershey's Kisses. Have you guys ever had one of those? They're so incredibly difficult to eat. It took me several weeks.
Just like a pound of pure chocolate?
Yeah. I got, for my birthday, I like gummy bears. I'm a big gummy bear guy. My friend bought me this like 1 pound fucking gummy bear thing.
I've seen those. Those are incredible.
And I was like, I love gummy bear. I was like, I just like, I even opened it. I was like, I'm going to eat. No, gross. Maybe I could like cut it up into little pieces and put it back in a bag.
There's
nothing about biting in.
I'll eat the ear.
You could do that for the worm. You could slice the worm into pieces. But the bear,
blender.
It's hard to.
Ew.
It's hard to cut up.
I'm gonna eat the left ear today.
If you do,
Right
you just gotta put voiceover to it, and just like
that's how the giant Hershey's Kisses are. Like you take a bite of it, and then you just put it down. And then the next day you take another bite out of it, and then you put it down.
It's like those giant jawbreakers that they had as a kid, and you could only go through one layer
Insane.
a day for a whole
Those
month.
giant ones, yeah.
So gross.
The only giant
Kids are
candy I
gross.
would eat is a giant Oreo.
Yeah, you would lick it all over, and then you would put it back in the plastic bag and put it on its shelf. Then you'd take it out the next day and lick it again.
No.
That's absolutely disgusting, and we all did it. All of us
I never
did that.
I refuse to say that I did that.
Wow, congratulations,
She refused to
Casey.
admit it. Doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Yeah. We've all done unspeakable acts.
For candy.
When it comes to candy, yeah. Around Halloween time.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie, Brian?
You know, I do not enjoy horror films because they scare me.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to pretend the filmmaking's not as good. But
That's
no,
the
it's
main
great. They're
deterrent.
very talented. I'm just definitely scared. For sure.
What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
What's the movie that turned you off of horror movies forever?
Chucky when I was a
Chucky,
child.
oh my God. I used to think Chucky lived in my toilet for a week because my older brother told me that. I didn't go in there for a whole week.
Yeah. No, when I was a little kid, I couldn't sleep.
Chucky was terrifying.
Yeah, my
for
mom
me.
caught me like crying in bed and not sleeping and asked me what was wrong. You know, I had the My Buddy doll or whatever.
Oh my God.
My sister told me it was going to kill me. And
Dude,
that's all you
It's
need when you're
always
4.
the older sibling tells you something and that creates this irrational fear. It's like, of course Chucky's not in the toilet. Why would he ever be in the toilet?
Yeah.
It's because my older brother told me he was.
Yeah.
And it's one of my first memories in general is my mom and dad explaining Hollywood to me and that it's not real. And, you know?
Chucky was a scary one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The second one.
The first Chucky
the one that I
was
saw.
scary.
I think I just saw the commercial on television. By the way.
really?
I don't even think. I mean, I was 4. I didn't like.
You're like, that doll was supposed to be my friend.
Yeah.
Well,
My sister was like,
kill
he's
me.
gonna kill you.
Well, yeah, when you're kids, you're scared of everything. Right?
Kinda like
I was
it.
scared of Jaws. I thought there was a shark under my bed.
I did.
Like,
too.
how
I was
dumb,
never
how
scared
dumb
of
is that? Like,
Jaws.
only a child would be scared of a shark being underneath the bed.
I thought of the ghost shark, whatever it's called, before it became a thing, and I still think it's a thing. I don't like taking baths. I cannot do it. I'm certain a shark
can't
will
do
come
t-
up
oh, a
and
bath?
kill me. Yeah.
A bath
Well,
shark.
I mean, yeah, I always
Really?
had an irrational fear of the
That's
deep
the
end
thing.
at the community pool because,
Really?
of
You
course,
guys-
there's a shark in there.
You guys
Yeah,
are
and then
adorable.
I
there's
feel the
Devin
same.
and I in Florida, and we're swimming in Weehee Watchee, and I'm like, there could be a alligator in here, and it could kill me, or I could just keep swimming.
In Florida, that's a legitimate
I
concern.
love sharks. Sharks are my favorite animal. I grew up in the Keys diving with them, and my uncle, when we were like 12, 13, would teach me and my cousin to hold our breath and dive down to the reef and grab onto the back of sharks and ride it. And the sharks go through these little channels, like there's cuts in the reef that are like from the sand bed to the top of the reef. There's like these little canal things where the currents cut through the stone. So it's like a little highway that all these fish travel. So you grab onto this shark, it takes you down into like, the trench scene in Star Wars?
Yeah.
It's that. Because at you can't let go because there's moray eels just like fucking jumping out from the
is the
sides.
most Florida
you
thing.
did this? My uncle. Yeah, so
My
it's
uncle
cool.
was doing the
Uncles
same
have the
thing.
best job.
Yeah.
As an uncle,
Yeah, he's awesome.
Uncles will eternally put their nephews in danger.
Yeah. Wait, you seriously just grab it by the tail?
Yeah. It depends on the species of shark, but most of the reef sharks are very like accustomed to humans. So, and they're well fed. They have all these sea life around a flourishing reef. So
a lot of nurse sharks also, they're pretty docile.
Nurse sharks don't even have teeth. They just have like a sucker thing that they just like, they suck up their prey from the sand. So they're not dangerous at all.
When I was a kid, I went deep sea. I'll never forget. It was like 4 a.m. We're driving to the Jersey Shore. It was like the morning Princess Di died. So when was that?
I remember that.
97 or 6?
September.
Yeah.
It was all on the radio, so you're listening to it on the radio.
Yeah. It's like we go out deep sea fishing. Got seasick, threw up my blueberry Pop-Tart. but you start to feel better.
Yeah.
I catch this shark. I think a sand shark. That's been the story, but I don't know what it is. So they tell me. The captain of the boat. Apparently, these are good if you cut them up. They're like good bait for
other fish,
fluke or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud I got this thing. It's like 1.5 feet long. Looks like a shark.
Oh, baby shark.
But to me, it's I was
of course,
cool.
Yeah.
The captain, so excited, runs over, takes the hook out. Before I can take a picture with it, grabs it by the tail, smacks its head on the side of the boat. Just immediately murdering this thing. Before he has even explained.
Welcome to fish life.
He hadn't even explained yet that it's going to be. So this was like out of nowhere.
like
this grown man grabs a shark out of my hand and murders it.
He doesn't even say, look out.
He's like, you're so proud of your trophy, and he just takes it and smashes it into little bits and pieces.
It was a weird moment. I could still kind of taste the blueberry redo, And I was not happy.
Well, sharks are an amazing creature.
Devin, that
one of my
story-
favorite zoo books.
That was the most Florida thing I've ever heard.
That was not the most Florida thing you've ever heard. I'll tell you the most Florida thing. My senior prank was grabbing an alligator and putting it in the pond in my high school.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Your high school had a pond?
Yeah, we had a little pond in the middle. Wow.
Oh, in the middle.
That's
Like
dangerous.
a little student-built pond in the middle of all the classrooms.
Oh, we had a little
Okay.
pond too. Now that I think about it,
It's like it was built by like the science class. It was a man-made like fountain pond, like one that you would have in your backyard.
an ecosystem, perhaps.
Yeah, that's one. Enough to fit a fucking 4-foot gator. Big enough.
How did you get the gator there? What?
Caught him on the golf course.
I had a cousin who's a year older than me. Grew up in Florida. And they just
Look at the way he said that.
They just grab them. There's no science to it. You just get behind him and grab them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just make sure you're not in front of it when it closes its mouth.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He had no fear. It seems like you guys just know how to deal with it.
You deal with it. So,
They can bite very hard. Even
They
the
can
small
bite
ones.
very hard, and you don't want to be in the water with them. But if you're on land, they can go straight very fast. But that's about it. They can't fucking. You can zigzag, you can climb up a tree, you can run behind them. It's like, don't do this to a fucking gator that's bigger than you, and definitely not to crocodiles. Crocodiles are way more aggressive. So
The more you know.
there's a little.
Watch out for those tails,
Florida
too.
man, a little outback in the culture. I can't do an Australian accent. I'm sorry.
Pathetic.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna try.
I didn't have anything like this in Washington, and I'm actually mind blown. I do not understand how any of this. I grew up with nothing.
Squirrels?
Nothing.
Chipmunks.
Cougars. I grew up with cougars.
Nothing. Cougars.
I grew up on Cougar Mountain.
Cougars in
So-
Washington. Oh, the state. Yeah.
Like what kind of cougars? Like
Mountain lions.
old ladies?
I was like, I grew up with cougars too.
Oh yeah. I was like,
playing cougars in Florida.
No,
fuck,
actually,
I don't know
though,
enough about cougars.
House full of cougars.
Shout out to Bellevue, Washington, Lakemont. Ton of cougars there, both of them. Both types.
Beware
They'll
of
get
those
ya.
big cats. Fuck mountain lions. Fuck cougars. all of
Excuse me?
them. They are monsters that will eat your children and
I
eat you and
I
maul
played
you.
with
I
a
don't-
bobcat once. I thought it was just a regular house cat.
Well, a bobcat's a little different. They're smaller, but like,
We have
have you ever
bobcats in my
seen
neighborhood.
a mountain lion or like a panther in real life?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, at the zoo.
They're huge and they don't give a fuck about
they're
anything.
lions. It's a lion.
I've had the Florida Panthers have come into my buddy's backyard before when we were out like in winter, just had a bonfire
The
out
football
back.
team?
No, it was just a group of us hanging out drinking. What? Oh, ha ha.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
What do you want to leave us on? What is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
Oh man. No, I don't know. I don't know. At the bottom line, I encourage anyone to chase their dream as long as they're willing to chase it.
What's that wisdom? Yeah, you got some lessons for the youngins out there, the up and comer.
Golden nuggets.
What's the one thing you wish you had heard before moving out here?
Make some content.
No, that even if you work your ass off, it's going to take a long time. I mean, for those of you who don't have a family member, a family friend that can open a door for you, which is a lot of us, don't get discouraged. No, it's going to take a while, but stick with it. That's
right.
What I would say.
I agree.
There it is, bringing it home. Our illustrious guest, Brian.
Illustrious.
Ben, you like that?
Illustrious.
B-E-B.
Beb.
Beb. I like those initials, bro. I like it. Tell the people out there where they can find you, where they can follow you, social media. You got your website. You got projects up and coming.
Yeah.
Let them know what's going on in the world of Brian and where they can support you at, bro.
The most fun place for me, Instagram, Bennett Pics, BENNETTPICS, Bennett Pics.
Links in the description.
Check it out. BrianEBennett.com or my agency, alldayeveryday.com. A lot of great directors doing a lot of great work. Shout out to them.
Alldayeveryday.com.
I love that name, by the way. All day, every day. That's awesome.
Same. Ditto.
T, you want to go around? Start
Yeah,
us off?
sure. Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram, TMcD2_. Usually twisting knobs and pushing buttons here in the studio. Then we have the fabulous Gabby Shake over here to my left.
Hey everybody, Gabby Shake over here. Follow me, Gabby Shake, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media things. And don't forget to watch Hermione Granger and the Quarter-Life Crisis on YouTube.
Yes.
Episode 5 just released last week.
Oh, goody. I'm going straight home and I'm watching that.
Hey.
I'm going to watch it right here.
And then the queen over here to my left.
Hey, it's Casey. You can follow me on Instagram at Casey Persich. That's KASEYPERCICH. Please don't shoot me any weird messages. I've been getting a lot of those recently, and I don't like them.
You give out your personal with these freak shows around
I know,
the
it's
world.
crazy. I never get messages.
You
I do.
don't realize we got some listeners in like Norway and Sweden that I bet are just like freak shows over there.
I love it. You can send me really funny things, but no, I don't want to date you. So
Yeah, no long distance relationships.
Send Casey memes.
Must be located in Southern
I
California.
will accept your memes. Let's put that on air.
Yes.
That is on record. I will accept your memes, but not your love.
This is a comedy-based
just,
show after all. Send us
Yeah.
your memes.
I was like, you just
Tag us
open the floodgates to these
At
assholes.
Skitbags Radio.
That's okay. I accept any
All your
and
favorite-
all memes.
Yes.
All right, and this is Sailor_Dev on Instagram. But more importantly, go follow the show at Skitbags Radio on Twitter. Go follow us on Facebook. We got a page up there. And more importantly, go to our YouTube channel where you can see all the clips and highlights, behind the scenes content of the show. We also got another show, a couple other shows that we're pumping away at. I just recorded episode 5 for Film History, the history of film, out now. You can check that out on iTunes and Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. And this week's episode is all about the film Reefer Madness. Reefer Madness, Reefer Madness.
Wow, that really pumped it up.
Yeah.
All right. Go to skitbags.com, follow all of our shows, check out Fight Dub, check out Skitbags Radio, check out everything we got going on. And anything else before we get out of here?
Oh, check out BrianEBennett.com.
Thanks for having me.
Boom!
Merry Christmas.
Skitbags Radio, we out!
We out!
Happy Thanksgiving. See you later.
Skitbags Radio.